Welcome to Conversations with My Real Friends. I'm Jennifer. I'm here with my friend Ed. Nice to see you, Ed.
Hi, Jennifer.
So today we're going to be talking about people's real estate and how to manage and mitigate in order to avoid probate. So why do people want to avoid probate with their real estate?
Well, first of all, in California, Jennifer, real estate is oftentimes the most significant asset. We have property values here in California that you don't see in any other state, oftentimes. And so because it's such a serious asset, it entails specific planning. So really the gold standard here in California is to put that property into a trust.
Okay.
Because you want to do several things. You want to protect it, you want to avoid probate, and you ultimately want to make sure that the property ends up in the right hands, specifically whoever you want to give it to. So I definitely recommend people who own real property consider a trust to have the real property titled in the name of the trust. Right.
And I agree with you completely. A trust is by far the best planning option. But sometimes a trust isn't an option, whether it's, it's not a perceived option, I'll say it that way, right? Whether it's cost or understanding, there are other ways to potentially avoid probate. What do you think about things like joint tenancy or other options?
So there are options to buy some time, right? Meaning options where someone should survive, right? So between a married couple or between two sisters, for example, there's one option called joint tenancy with the right of survivorship.
Correct.
So this is a situation where you hold title such, and if you end up passing, so long as your sister survives you or your spouse survives you, it will not go through probate because the nature of the way it's titled will automatically give the surviving partner full rights to the real property. That's one option.
Right. But it only works till the last man standing.
It only works till the last man standing. Make sure you don't go on the same airplane or drive the same car, right?
Yeah. So what about California has a transfer upon death deed?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that?
This is a newer law, and it's exciting and interesting at the same time. As with anything brand new, we haven't figured everything out. For example, so first of all, a transfer on death is very similar to a beneficiary, and we currently have this with financial institutions like banks and credit unions. You go in there, you fill out a form. So essentially what happens is you must pass away, obviously, it's transfer on death, and the person that you indicated to be your beneficiary must survive you, for example. So a death certificate is needed. For example, if you're in a nursing home in a coma for 7 years, nothing is moving. So that's definitely a limitation. But transfer on death deeds are here in California, and we're still trying to figure things out. I recently did one where the homeowner relocated to Hawaii. Right? And so he was on his deathbed, and so he signed the transfer on death deed in Hawaii. Well, who knew that he needed to be in California? Or who knew that the notary needed to be in California? And so we went back and forth with the recorder's office. Ultimately, we needed an addendum with respect to the notarization.
It wasn't done right.
It wasn't done right.
To comply with California law.
Exactly, and so thank God we had a willing and reasonable notary, but if that notary didn't feel comfortable, which that's reasonable as well, then it ended up in probate. So these are resources, these are options, but they're not perfect.
Correct. The biggest thing I will say is if you're going to do something, if you're planning, whether it's a trust, a joint tenancy, a transfer upon death deed, whatever your plan is, get some support in making sure that it's done right. Because, I see these things, I litigate bad decisions regularly.
There's no problem unless there's a problem.
Correct. So if someone does want to plan and really plan with a trust, how can they reach you?
We're Oak Crest Law Group, located in Westlake Village, California, online at oakcrestlaw.com or by phone at 818-597-8800.
Great. So thank you for joining me, Ed.
Thanks, Jennifer.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of Conversations with My Real Friends. We'll see you soon.